In our discussion so far, in part first chemistry up to chemical bonding, we have studied the constituents of matter, that is, matter made up of atoms, matter made up of ions, matter made up of molecules. We have also discussed the properties known as periodic properties, which are linked with the size of atoms and their electronic configuration. In addition, we have learnt about the different types of bonds which result when atoms take part in chemical combination. It is interesting to note that most of the characteristics of the chemical systems are not of single atoms, ions, or molecules. That means, till now or so far, whatever we have learnt the characteristics of single species, single particles. Let them be atoms, let them be ions, or let them be molecules. But in reality, most of the properties we don't deal with in single state or in single particle. Okay, so rather these are the bulk properties of the state representing a particular system. For example, let us consider water, which is the most commonly available substance. Do we drink individual molecules of water? Are these molecules capable of boiling or have wetting properties? Similarly, can single water molecule in the solid state cause cooling sensation? The answer is no. Actually, these characteristics are associated with the bulk consisting of unimaginative number of particles. This represents the state of a particular matter. That means when we understand in what state a matter is, then we can think of what properties, especially the bulk properties. Therefore, it is necessary to understand the states of matter. Therefore, let us learn a very interesting and the new chapter, States of Matter, Part 1 Chemistry, chapter number 5, soon after the chemical bonding. So, I welcome you all for today's session on states of matter. See, these are fundamental states of matter. Why he is using the word fundamental? Because these three are the common states of matter: solid state, liquid state, gaseous state. Okay, so there are two more states which are not called as fundamental, but they are special states of matter. One is extreme cold condition and the other one is extreme hot condition. That we learn whenever it comes. Okay, that's why he is saying these three states are called as common states, or the fundamental states, are the most important states of matter. See, now energy is increasing from the lowest to the highest. Okay, that means these three are the most common states of matter: extreme cold condition, low energy; extreme hot condition, high energy. So this state, cold condition, is called as what? Bose-Einstein condensate. So contribution of our Indian scientist Satyendranath Bose, SN Bose, along with the famous scientist of the world Albert Einstein, they have made together research work, and that state is called as what? Bose-Einstein condensate. Then next, what? Warm state is solid state, then liquid state, gaseous state. Very hottest state of matter is what? Plasma state, which occurs naturally on the surface of stars, but we can create in laboratory whenever we require for our study or the research purpose. Otherwise, in our day-to-day life, we deal with only solid, liquid, gas, known as the most common three states of matter. Why you should learn these states of matter? Okay, I already told in the beginning only, in the introduction only, to study some of the properties of a matter. So we have to understand the state of a matter. Okay, recognize solids have stronger attractive force than liquids, and liquids have stronger forces than gases. So to understand what kind of force is there, in the solid state, in the liquid state, and the gaseous state, or in what state matter is there. If the matter is in that state, what are the forces operating in that state? So to know that one, we have to study the states of matter. Recognize solids have more ordered arrangement than liquids or gases. If you understand states of matter, at the end you will understand that solids have more orderly arranged 3D, three-dimensional arrangement. Okay, whereas in the case of liquid, little what order is not there. Whereas in the gaseous state, it is totally not no order at all. They randomly move here and there wherever place is available. So therefore, to know the arrangement of the particles in a particular state, we have to learn states of matter. Explain why ionic solids melt at higher temperature than covalent solids. So it also explains that why ionic solids melt at a higher temperature. Because of what? Why they are so closely packed? What kind of attachment is there? So to explain all these, we have to study states of matter. Describe states of matter in terms of motion and arrangement of molecules or atoms. That means, see, in a particular state, constituents are there in what motion? Are they moving freely? Are they moving with difficulty? Or movement is restricted? So to know all these, so we have to study states of matter. Now let's have some small recap. Three common states of matter. Okay, so solid state, liquid state, and the gaseous state. All these are difference between solid state, liquid state, and the gaseous state regarding the shape and the volume, regarding the compressibility, okay, regarding the space, regarding the attraction, regarding the what movement of the particles. So this already we learned. So this I give you for a small recap. Kindly go through. Now, just now we discussed that to know the states of matter, in what condition, in what phase, in what state, or in what condition particular constituents are there in that matter. So to know that, we have to understand intermolecular forces. These forces are between the atoms, between the molecule, between the ions. Okay. So let us know intermolecular forces. Please here, this is water, this is water. Okay. So this is also intermolecular force only within the water molecule, whereas this force is between the two water molecules. So there are two types of intermolecular forces. Okay, this is a special intermolecular forces also known as within. So intra. So intramolecular force means the force within a molecule. It may be a chemical bond, it may be a covalent bond or ionic bond. Okay, so that is what intramolecular force. Whereas molecule to molecule is called as what? Intermolecular. House to house, interhouse. State to state, interstate. Molecule to molecule, intermolecular. So between the molecule, what kind of force is there? That is known as what? Intermolecular force. That will tell in what state a particular matter is there. Okay. You see this one? Strong intramolecular attraction. Weak intermolecular attraction. That means whenever you go, if you compare the strength between inter and the intra, it is the intra which is stronger than the inter. Intra to make a molecule, no? So to make a molecule, atoms has to attract strongly, then molecule will form. Therefore, it is naturally strong. Whereas, if it is between one molecule to other molecule, when they approach at a particular distance, that time only they start operating. Okay, so that is called intermolecular force. That is not so strong that can be ruptured easily. But to rupture, to break this intramolecular force, we require a lot of energy. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is what? Intramolecular force is stronger than intermolecular force. So with this, we will conclude today's session, and tomorrow we are going to discuss types of intermolecular forces. Okay, intermolecular forces are the forces of attraction and repulsion between interacting particles. That they may be attractive, they may be repulsive also. Okay, so you can't bring two molecules so close, so they start repelling. A particular distance is allowed, to come close. Beyond that, it's not allowed. So then they start operating what? Repulsive interaction starts. Therefore, intermolecular force may be attractive or repulsive depend upon the situation. But we don't discuss in this chapter repulsive interactions. Okay, only we discuss about the attractive interactions. Therefore, second statement is what? Attractive intermolecular forces are known as van der Waals forces. Okay, so this is a research paper of what? Van der Waals, Dutch scientist. Therefore, intermolecular forces which are attractive, they are known as van der Waals force of attraction. Only a few elements can participate in hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond is also comes under intermolecular attractive force. Okay, for this special condition is required. Only particular type of molecules which undergo hydrogen bonding. That's why only a few elements can participate in the hydrogen bonding, that we learn afterwards. And there are three types of intermolecular forces. There are three types of van der Waals forces. They are dispersion forces, dipole-dipole interactions, and dipole-induced dipole forces. So all these in brief we discuss in our next session. Till then, have a nice time and bye.